Nothing too
Oh.
exciting. I swear.
Oh, that's boring.
Ben, you good?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right,
All good? All right.
hang on a second.
All right, we're calling the community development meeting to order at 7 p.m. We have Alderman Cazares, Cantelo, Mech, and myself, Bilotto, present. We have Eric Alvarez, Randy Hauser, City Clerk, Howard Kapari, and Sarah Brown on the line also. I did not receive any public comments.
Annette
Sent to me at all.
Alexander.
All right, Alexander, all right. So no public comment. We could roll right into approval of minutes. I sent those out before and I sent them out again today, just in case, because I sent them out like right after our last meeting, like a month ago.
Tom Hawley's gonna.
So if there's no issues, all right. If there's no issues, we need a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Cantelo, second by Mech. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, number 1, Sanders School. Eric, I'll let you open this up. I just reviewed it not that long ago, and I have some issues, just my familiarity of the property. I'm sure Raeann might have some issues too, since you grew up across the street.
That's
So,
my school.
Go ahead, Eric. Yeah.
It looks
Okay,
like
sure.
garbage though. Looks like
So
garbage.
we have preliminary plans to improve the parking lot at Sanders School at York and Division. I talked to the developer's engineer, and these are not complete plans by any means. They basically want our feedback on, I'm sure anything Alderman Bilotto or Alderman Zylman that you all wanted to, I'll take notes on, but I think what they're looking for here in particular is our thoughts on the new access at York Street, which is a new driveway at York, just east of the alley, you can see in the plan. And then also with regards to the parking lot layout, like if we had any specific issues with the overall layout of the parking lot rather than like the details. That's what they're looking for, but for sure, any feedback on any feedback at all, I'll take notes and we'll take that back to the developer.
All right, I'll start. Number 1, there's no alley there. If it is a deeded alley, it's never been. It was always part of the parking lot off of York Street. I don't like how they kind of cut that off and kind of like are giving that alley back to us, because then we'll be responsible, or nobody, the fact of the matter, nobody's going to be responsible for that 14 feet between the houses and the parking lot. It's an alley that goes nowhere. Sanders School that's all that's there on that corner of that block. So if it's a deeded alley to us, I think we need to deed it to them, and they can go just like the parking lot is right now. The parking lot goes all the way to the property line of that house. There's no garage that needs access to. There's nothing back there. So I have an issue with them cutting off that 14 feet, because then you have 14 feet by several hundred feet of no maintenance at all, because the city's not going to give that alley to go nowhere. There's no reason for us to have it, just like these other alleys throughout town that are.
There wasn't an alley there back in the day, right?
There was a grassy field back when we were
Right, it
younger
was
until they paved it all over.
Right, a kickball field. I remember.
Yeah, but now it's all blacktop all the way to the
Right.
property line, and I have an issue with that. So either we give them the property, we undeed that alley that goes nowhere, unless there's a public works issue, like there's some kind of utility that's there that we need, which I highly doubt, because like I said, it was a grassy field growing up. Or they maintain all the way to the property line. I have an issue with them giving up that 14 feet. It's like got to be a 14 feet by 1,000 feet long or something like that.
It's
And,
long.
you know,
Okay, I have a note here, so
Right.
we're going to have them either agree to maintain that alley that's shown, well, I guess first we can research whether that alley shows up in the, like it's only a matter of 5 minutes to check whether that alley shows up on the Cook County property map, so.
But where is
Yeah,
the
check
alley?
out But it could be just lines, like, that happens
just
all over the
lines.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
There
there's a
was
house.
never an alley. There's a house
But-
in their property. There was never an
Right.
alley.
There's as long as I remember, there's never an alley.
Right,
Sorry.
and Alderman
So, I
Zylman,
don't-
those could just be like lines on the Cook County property map and like the city's alley that was never, either just never developed or was vacated, who knows, 150 years
No,
ago,
I don't
you
think it
wouldn't
was-
know.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was ever developed. And those houses would have garages and they don't. They're all on facing Sealy. So
Right,
if they knew there was an alley there, built garages facing Sealy is my point. There's no garages if
Yeah,
that's
and
really an alley.
And I want to believe there is those other people that live on the other side, there's a garden. They have gardens back there. So I don't
That's
remember.
further south.
At the
That's
end.
Spinelli's property. He's
Right,
for sale right now. Yeah, at the end there, where the orchard used to be.
right.
That's still for sale. It's like 3-4 acres back there.
Why don't you
hidden
buy
back
it?
there. Anyway,
Why don't you buy it?
no reason for it, other than memory. All right, so that's my first issue, no alley.
Can I just summarize that,
the
Alderman
fence,
Bilotto?
height.
Just
Yeah,
so I
summarize
make sure we're, okay. So that public alley shown on the plans, we're going to check the property maps and then have them either deed that either have the city deed that alley over to them or have them agree to maintain and resurface it. Is that a good summary?
Yeah, because I
Okay.
don't see all the landscaping they're putting in all this landscaping, all this buffer, and then behind it 14 feet, and then a fence of the next house. It's a dead 14 feet. 14
Right.
feet by
And
1,000.
I would imagine that's because, they can't go on without the city's permission and resurface the city property. So let's see what they say. I'll take it to them
All
for
right,
sure, okay?
That's my first issue. How tall is this decorative fence that they're talking about on here?
They haven't given us any details on the fence. That would be that needs to be part of their final submittal. So, or not final, their preliminary submittal. I have a list about 20 things long of details they need to give us for their preliminary submittal. But I'll make sure I note that.
I'm against a decorative fence more than 4 feet, 4 or 5 feet max. 4 feet, I would leave it a lot because they're planning to fence off the entire property. I think, and gate off the entire property. I think that it's going to look like a jail then. So I'm against it being more an actual decorative fence. Yeah, when I think it's a decorative fence, it's 3-4 feet, not anything bigger than that.
Oh, I know, there's a lot of
Understood.
weeds, a lot of weeds over there right now. It looks pretty bad.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that, Raeann. I still got a long list here.
All
So,
right.
The fence I have issues with. The gate I mentioned, I don't know what the purpose would be of sliding gates. No school in the entire city is that fenced off, not even.
Oh, no, I'll tell you, I know what I know what that is. I know what that is. They just
Yes,
put
Alderman.
those,
I was gonna ask them the same question.
put the sliding gate, I'm assuming they just put sliding gates at veterans with the, so we don't know how to use them yet because we obviously left March 13th, but they put a remote in it, so they're gonna use our app to get in. So I'm sure that's what they want to do there.
Well, I'm
It's like a
against anything
security.
fronted.
Alderman, is that for staff parking then, for to separate that from, is that the idea? I was gonna ask them the same question.
At veterans, it's a staff parking lot at 123rd and Greenwood. They just did it and we don't even know how to use it yet because obviously we been out of school since March 13th.
All right, so there's another question about the fence. And then they butchered beautiful trees on that property. They went off and cut everything down, everything. There was nice trees that weren't dead at all. They butchered and cut everything down. I'd like trees planted. I mean, they took out probably 10 trees off that property. Raeann, you've seen, they're all gone. All those big, huge trees that were there.
Right.
So I want trees planted as much as possible to restore the frontage of that property to how it should look. It's a historical building. It's got a lot of history to it, not to mention a famous architect that designed it. I'm just against blacktop in the front of the building. I want it to be, there's plenty of
Right.
parking there for hundreds of cars. They don't need to.
And
they
so
don't
we're
need to add
talking
more to
about
the front of the building. The
We're
Division
talking
Street
about
side.
kind of the west side of Division, yeah, the Division Street side. And their plans, although they don't give us details, show that asphalt being replaced with landscape areas. But I will make sure that I put a note here that we want trees added. So we want
Yeah,
parkway
I don't
trees
see any
added.
trees. Parkway trees and trees it's a big front lawn there. They cut down some big trees. And I don't know why, but there was a couple, they were not junk trees. They weren't silver maples. I think they were lindens or ginkgos. They were bright yellow in the fall, and they weren't oak, they weren't silver maple, and they weren't dying. So I don't know why they took them down. And they just were there and they were gone the next day. So it's a shame.
And there's blacktop there now, right? Is that what we're talking? Because
On
there's
the
like a
one side,
blacktop.
there is. On both sides, there's blacktop. Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, I'll make sure we have a note in there that we want the parkway trees installed in those new landscape areas on the west I guess the property's east frontage on Division Street.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
all I had for the Sanders. Other Alderman? Any questions on Sanders School?
Can I
No.
just quickly,
We're all
Alderman
good?
Bilotto,
Yeah.
Howard, did you have anything that you wanted me to add in addition to that?
Not at the moment.
Okay, all right, thanks you all. I've made notes for each of those 4 items, and I will take that back to the developer, and we will have them addressed and put together a set of plans for us.
All right. Any other issues for Sanders School? We'll move on to do we need approval on any of this, right? We don't need approval on any of this, right, Eric? Do you need any approval?
We
yet?
don't need any approval. This is just informal. I can take this back to the developer and they'll have it.
Okay. All right, so then we'll move on to number 2, and that's just a notification. Mark Miller wanted to notify the committee that he's planning to put out to bid the 2 properties listed on the agenda, 2811 Broadway Street and 13313 Rexford. They've been abandoned. I know the one on Rexford for sure has been abandoned for 15 years at least. And I don't know if anybody be actually interested in actually buying it because it's kind of falling in on itself. But I'm just notifying us, he's going to be doing legal notification in the property and accepting bids, and he's going to keep us informed. If anybody has any questions, I would email Mark if anybody knows anybody interested in those properties or how he's going about it. And that's just me notifying the committee that he's planning to put those 2 up for sale. Number 3 is discussion and approval for business development grant program application for Joseph Yalda's property, which is Domino's Pizza and Sharks Seafood and Chicken, which is located at 2411 West 119th Street for a shared trash enclosure. Howard?
Yeah, he submitted his application by mail. He lives in Florida, the property owner. So he just wants to create 1 trash enclosure for the 2 dumpsters for each of the businesses.
Any issues from the alderman? If not, we need a motion to approve.
Motion.
A second.
Second by Alexander. Any questions? And I'm sure once he goes through the process, Howard, he comes back to us for final inspection for payment, right?
Right.
Okay. All right, all in favor, say aye. Any against? Motion carries. Number 4 is the beer company. Discussional approval for a business development grant application for Brian Shimkos's leased property, the beer company, which is located at 13357 Old Western Avenue. They're building and tuck pointing a creative outdoor seating area. The rough drawings were attached, and I agree 100%. This is what this monies are for, to be into the same account. So is there any questions, or otherwise we need a motion in a second?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Annette, second by Cantelo. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Same as before. Once it's completed, it'll be inspected and come back to us for payment. Number 5, the Eagles Bowling Alley. This one, the work is already completed. It was tuck pointing. It's the final review for a business development grant program for Jerry Hartman's application for the Fraternal Order of Eagles, which is located at 2427 Grove Street. They spent a lot of tuck pointing there. They applied for this grant. Now the building was inspected by our building department. They're asking for reimbursement through the grant. So unless there's any questions, we need a motion in a second.
I will motion there. Go ahead.
The other project that they got a grant for, is that done?
No,
No, I talked to Jerry. I'm sure Ahmed or Howard might know more. That's still ongoing. Unless Howard, Ahmed, you got an update on that?
I can let Ahmed answer that.
You what?
Ahmed, you on here? Ahmed?
Yes, I heard. I said that he was only worried about the request, the first request, because he's got to do some other work on the back. So he has not submitted any request for inspection.
Okay. Okay, so that one's still out there.
Yes, it's still
That was
out.
from the year prior. So this one's so this one's still out. Okay. So is there a second on the tuck pointing only we're talking?
I
Is there
can
a
second.
second?
I'll second it.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Kathy's Flowers, I know I spoke to her today. She said the tuck pointing's done. The awning she's getting started on. Ahmed, did you want to update us on that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, she did call. I called her back because she called and she said that she forgot to add it onto the permit where she requested the tuck pointing. So that one is done, and we are actually doing a final inspection tomorrow morning. And then she's going to be applying for the awning. That she's going to be using the same structure, but it will remain the same. So it's only basically the material that is going to be covering on that one. So that will be approved right away.
All right. Now, I know in the past we haven't done, I mean, there's nothing restricting us from doing it either. How does the committee feel of reimbursing for the work that's completed, the tuck pointing, and then having her resubmit for the awning separately to reimburse for that? I know businesses are hurting, and then if she's done with the one phase, I have no issue releasing the funds for what she's done with. Is there any issue with that from the committee?
I have no issues.
No, no issues.
No. This is Howard. So
Yeah,
just to
Howard.
just to get along, she spent $4,800. With the 75%, she will be reimbursed $3,600 just for the tuck pointing. So I just want the committee members to be aware of the money that's going to be reimbursed.
No, I agree. I think that's fine. And I think once she comes in with the awning thing, we can do that when that comes.
Okay.
So I need a motion to approve just the tuck pointing reimbursement for Kathy's Flowers.
I make a motion.
I second.
Second by Cantelo and second by Mech. Any questions?
Yes, Alderman Bilotto. Do we have a
Yes.
balance of what's left in that fund?
It's in the, yeah, we can get one. I know it's a lot because nobody ever applies for these things. Not as much as we collect from them, but I think I can get, I'll email Topeka and I'll send it to the committee as soon as she sends it to me what the balance is in that account. But I believe since it rolls over every year, it's a lot of money. Tom, would you offhand know how much is in that account? I can't think of the dollar amount, but I know it's a lot.
Well, it was, I mean, last I checked, it was $1.25 million, but let me see. I'm going to check the agenda for last night's meeting because I think he's got the treasurer's report in there.
Okay, is that something we can, just have whenever we are approving reimbursements, just to keep a rolling balance so that we can be
Yeah.
made aware of it?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no.
So at the end of
Yeah.
at the end of May, there was 1.76 million in the business district and 236,000 in the facade grant.
Yeah, and we appropriate usually only like 50 to 60 grand a year. So it shows not enough people are applying to use the money that's coming out of that account every year. If there's 200 some thousand balance right now. So,
Right.
but I can try getting that as a monthly thing from Topeka sent to me, just so we're all know what's in that account. So I'm going to make a note to ask for that.
So this is Howard. So
Yeah.
after the approvals, I'm gonna bring or send the application for reimbursement with my memo to the finance committee for both Eagles and for Flowers by Kathy. So the next meeting is going to be June 15th. So I'm going to submit everything tomorrow to the finance.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, so we have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Number 7 and 8 are related, just in the fact where I have some issues. Maybe I shouldn't connect them because it's the same property. But the Cook County sign they want to install on the parking lot that they're renting from us next to the building is one issue. And then there's another issue, I added it to the agenda, of them putting signs on a parking lot that is jointly owned, at least what we've always been told, is jointly owned by the city and formerly Quorum Health. And they put signs up without city notification saying nobody can use that parking lot except their customers. And I think, and I believe other aldermen that have been around for a while, we think we own some of those parking lots. So I don't feel I should approve anything unless Howard tells me we have to until we get that issue resolved. So Howard, do you want to open this up?
Yes, yes, I'll talk
Yeah.
about both issues. So the first one is the monument plan. I spoke with a representative from Cook County, and they released this rendering late this afternoon. That's why I forwarded it to everyone. Did everyone have a chance to look at this revised monument plan versus the one that I sent last Friday?
Yes.
Okay, so they incorporated some of my changes or my requirements. First of all was the monument sign foundation. Now it mimics the architectural element of the building that's next to it. So they put brick versus white painted aluminum. And then for the signage part, I was very strict about having some type of a language that talks about the hours of operation and that the general public is allowed to use it afterwards. So now they have incorporated that in their sign. What I was conversing with a person from Cook County, he was going to make it tonight, but something came up, so he couldn't make it. But I was conversing with him earlier this afternoon. The hours that they're putting right on the monument sign, I'll read it to those who don't have it in front of them. Their patient parking is from 7:30 to 7 p.m. on Mondays, and Tuesday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30. That is less than what was approved by the lease. So we have at least gained more parking time for the people to park there, because the lease hours were very strict. It was, and I'll read it to you, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's what was agreed by the council and with the person applying for the lease. And then Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 5. So their monument sign that they're proposing here it's given the businesses a little bit more time to park there. So they're trying to, they don't even mention Saturday and Sunday. So they're trying to not be like, hey, we're going to take all this parking just for ourselves, even though technically the hours that I just mentioned per the lease agreement, they could have done it. So they're trying to show some, give back to the community. And they put after hours, the general public is encouraged to park in the parking lot. So that's one of the stuff that I was really pushing for on the monument sign. Now, looking at the physical sign itself, it meets all of the requirements for the UTOD. The height, the proposed monument sign is going to be 5 feet 7 inches tall. The sign area is plus or minus 30 square feet. And then the monument width of the sign is 10 inches. And then the sign area, right, the area that's advertising everything is only 18 square feet. So everything is under the requirement for a monument sign for the UTOD that is on Western Avenue. So, talking about signage, I don't really have an issue. I think they've met the requirements that I was asking for compared to the prior sign that they submitted. I know they want to go with that modern look, the top part of it, gray and blue with white lettering, and the bottom part is going to be brick. So it kind of matches the building element. So that's the first part. So how I conversed with them was, since this is in the UTOD, and I know that the Community Development Committee members are very particular and they would like to always have a say in the review process, I wanted to bring this up to everyone here. So at least this is what it's going to look like prospectively. So the first part is, presenting this to the group and getting feedback. Does the group like this new one that they submitted literally like 3 hours ago?
I like it, Howard. I'm just speaking on this sign.
Right.
I like it. I like the brick. It's a big improvement.
Okay.
I like it too. My only concern is it just seems kind of high. tall. Like, does it need to be that tall? But other than that, I mean, I like the look of it. It just seems tall.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying, because if you're looking at the scale or the balance between the top and the middle, they're pretty much even. I could suggest to them if they could bring it down maybe a foot and a half. Would that be okay?
I think
Yeah,
it'd be-
I think that would be good if it was like a foot and a half. The brick part was a foot and a half. It just seems really tall. At least it looks taller in the picture, the color picture where they actually superimposed it on the.
Yeah, the aerial photo, the Google Map photo. Yeah, I kind of got startled too. That's why quickly I went to go look at the height requirements. Okay, I could suggest that to them. I don't think that will be a problem. A foot and a half, so it'll be maybe 4 feet in height.
Yeah. Well, it'd be 4.5 feet high instead. Yeah.
4.5 feet in height. I'll mention that to the people. I'm speaking to a representative from Cook County, Poblocki sign, and then also Madison Construction, because they're still doing the construction work there. So I'm talking with 3 people on a constant basis with this.
You know, I think that image, the rendering, with the Google Map image is a little misleading. Now, I agree with Tom that it does look a little tall, but this patient parking only should technically be able to be seen from the street, whether you're in a vehicle or there's any vehicles parked in that area. I see that it's marked off as yellow, but I'm not sure if that's still being enforced as a no parking zone. But if it's not a no parking zone and there's vehicles or emergency vehicles parked in front of that area, that sign will not be seen if it's lower than the suggested amount. Now, once again, I think that sign is a little exaggerated. I think that the way we were looking at it right now, it looks like 8 feet there. But once again, I also don't want it to be so tall or too short that you have to bend your neck to read or can't read from the street.
So
Yeah, I don't think there is any parking there just because there's an in and an out right on either side of that. So it'd be dangerous to have parking there. So, and if it's an emergency vehicle, it's going to be covered whether it's a
You're
foot
right.
lower or not. So,
you right. Let me see. Let me look at the building. I'm trying to get a quick Google Map look at it. Pertaining to the language, the original sign had no indication of the hours of operation. Neither did it say anything that the general public is allowed to park there. So for me, that was a win in the sense that I was able to have them put something there. I don't think it would be to our benefit to have that larger, because then it's going to overpower the sign itself. I think the height of the lettering that they're proposing will not be detrimental to the sign and will still be informative. And yes, Tom is correct. I'm looking at the Google map. It's striped off yellow in between the 2 trees where the sign would be.
Okay.
So parking in front of that area if it's brought down a foot and a half.
that was just my thing. If everyone else is okay with the height and nobody wants to make a big deal about it, that's fine. It just seems like it's a lot of brick.
It is a lot of brick.
Okay.
So
Howard, do you want approval for this before?
I would like an approval, because at least if we go back and forth, at least the committee already has a consensus on what they feel is appropriate. So when it gets installed, no one's going to say, well, I didn't know that it was going to be so tall. So
Alderman Bilotto, Alderman Bilotto, Clerk Quasar here. There's two, well, it was already brought up about the ownership of that, specifically PIN number last 3 of 022. Also, they are looking for, and I don't know when they're going to be looking for this out near in the future, but they're looking for a loading and unloading zone or handicap in front of in front of their building. So I don't know if you're gonna want to do it piecemeal or if you're gonna want to look at the whole plan. But the ownership is a question, and you had mentioned that. Just want to make sure that you're aware.
Yeah, we're gonna go into detail at the next line item on the agenda because I have big issues with that. But just for approval of just this sign at this location, which we do have an agreement with, I need a motion for this.
I'll move.
Is there a
With the
motion?
suggestion of lowering it, lowering the brick part a little bit.
Yes. And for,
All
okay,
right,
if
Alderman
you
Foley
guys,
with the suggestion.
right, if you guys approve it, with it being lowered, and if they contested, then I'll say we need to bring it back to the committee for a further review. Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't make it like, I don't know.
Well, the problem is that this sign is going to be here for many years. For
Yeah.
the lease agreement. So I rather wait another month and get it right instead of just, saying, well, okay, we'll give up and we'll let it stand. So if everyone here approves it at 4.5 feet, I'll go back to them and say, this is what the committee felt and this is what they approved. And I don't think that's going to be an issue personally. I think they're more concerned about, trying to appease the city with the hours listed on the sign. That's what they were trying to do.
I'll second.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second. Cazares.
Cazares, all right. Any questions?
No.
Alderman Bilotto froze.
I think he's froze.
I was wondering if that was me or him.
Yeah, he looks kind of funny.
So I was glad when somebody else started talking.
He's still froze. He's got to know he's froze.
He's probably downloading a Minecraft or something.
Oh, now he's gone.
He'll be back in a minute. You know what I found is my computer is on Wi-Fi, and when you run the microwave, it interferes with the Wi-Fi signal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's so weird that we use Zoom and school does Google Meets or whatever. It's so weird.
Yeah. There's a couple different ones, but
You gotta choose ones: microwave popcorn or Zoom meetings.
and
I don't know.
Will, I checked into your breakout room. It's $15 a month additional. So yeah, so as few times, hopefully, because we're going to be using this. I don't know if it's worth it, but
Yeah, it wasn't the end of the. It wasn't too bad last night. And again, you might want to test it out or check if you can even record a breakout Zoom, because I don't know if you are required to record closed sessions.
right, I do. Yes, I have to record those.
Yeah, so next time I'm in a breakout room, I'll test it out. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's a option, or if it is, I'm not.
Oh, that's big. That's big. Yeah. But
Maybe Fred's internet's out.
yeah, hopefully we won't be doing this for too much longer.
I kind of like it.
I do too.
I like it too.
You have
I do, but they're just coming out. They just voted on something today. I haven't really had a chance to read the email I got about 4 o'clock or so this afternoon. There's rumor is that the amended motion or discussion was going to be that at least one person had to be in the fiscal meeting room. So that's
fine. That's you.
Yeah, right. Let's see.
I like the way you think, Tom.
Yeah, 4 nights a week for. I don't mind. I kind of heard a little slowdown, so I came in. But I'm walking around talking with the family and stuff, just kind of keeping one ear to it. But yeah.
Hey, Randy, is Fred trying to get back in at all?
I don't.
Oh wait, he just texted me. Hold on.
Yeah.
He goes, "Let me in." He just texted me, so let me in. Why would I let him?
Oh, he's back in, but he should have just jumped right back into panelist once he logged
It
back.
says, "Let me in."
Yeah, I just did.
I mean, can we vote on that?
Well, he should be popping up any minute now. There he is.
So I would like to just make a,
Oh, he's back.
Normally, if you were a panelist and you were allowed to come back in, you just automatically come back in. That happens all the time.
I like to make a suggestion
No, I
here.
don't know why it wouldn't let me in.
Go ahead, Howard.
If we minus 1.5 feet, it goes down to how you call it?
4.5.
feet. Yeah, 4 feet, because 5.5 and 4.5 is 1 foot. So it'd be 4.5 or 4 feet. What's the height?
I was thinking 1.5 feet for the brick and 3 feet for the sign, so it's 4.5.
Okay. So
Because it's 2 foot 7 inches now for the brick.
right. So you want, so the overall height of the sign is what?
4.5.
4.5, and then
Yeah.
for the brick part, 1.5 loss.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll convey that properly to them.
All right. All right, so we're all good for 7. Number 8, we started with the DMAR sign. Howard, what do you know about this so far?
So I've been conversing with one person in great detail throughout the week. His name is Lawrence Brozick. He feels that we need to converse with the property owner about this because the county feels like they didn't do anything wrong if they signed the lease and there's an issue with that. They want us to resolve it with the property owner before they'll give any input or anything like that. So the question is this, and Randy brought it up moments ago about that 22, right? The pin number 0.22 that's at the end. That's the one that the city looks like owns since 1999 on the tax portal. But according to the information we have here, the property owner has been paying taxes for that, which would have been Quorum, former Metro South. So this seems like a legal question with the property. I've requested from Cook County if they got any closing documents in the lease agreement, and they didn't. So this would be something that we would have to be conversing with the property owner.
So I've talked to Lockwood. I can't think of his name offhand.
McNulty?
The one that bought the property, at least a representative here from way before this happened. If they own it, then why aren't they maintaining it? Because his comment to me was that he thought we owned it. So I think there's a bigger discrepancy here. What I'll volunteer to do is I'll reach out to him again and then put him in contact with you. And maybe we can resolve this. If not, then we have to get the attorneys involved. But
Yeah.
I'll reach out to him and I'll bring it back to the committee what I find out before we
Yeah.
get the attorneys involved.
And what I'll do,
Because someone's not maintaining, no one.
You guys gotta stop making popcorn over there.
Those kids are probably using the microwave.
Yeah.
So now what is this? They want to put a sign on the public lot between Union and High and Western?
they pretty much want to take ownership through the lease agreement of that parking for themselves. That's what's coming down to. In
So they
other words,
want
the
an
city
additional
wouldn't,
lease, or they think that the current lease covers that?
well, they need additional parking. So they reached out to the new
Oh.
owner of Metro South, and he pretty much signed a lease agreement with them. So yes, and I brought this up to Cook County. If they own it, why is the city maintaining the landscaping, which Fred mentioned also? And I also have this afternoon, the person who I'm talking to gave me
Wow.
the 3 emails to the people that the city should be contacting, their attorney. So I could forward it to Fred after this meeting if he wants to reach out to them.
The city maintaining the landscaping is a very big stretch.
No, we're not. That's why I don't want to.
I know, we're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looks like
I wouldn't
crap.
be opposed to them donating that property to us, but it doesn't seem like, yeah.
Right.
let me see what I can find out with the next few days here, and if not, we have to send it to the attorneys to figure it out. So, all right, so number 9, this dead tree in the 7th Ward that's been on municipal and public health and safety, and now it's been sent to us because I guess we have a tree ordinance that says final decision on taking a tree down in a parkway goes to community development. So I talked to the one alderman, Jim Clinker, that was very familiar. It's been like a year they've been trying to take this tree down. It's a silver maple. I went and looked at it myself. It's a silver maple, a lot of dead branches. It's got that tar disease. All the leaves are crinkled and got black dots all over them, which doesn't really kill a tree right away. But this is a silver maple that's already got a huge split in the middle trunk. It's going to be a problem anyway. I have no issue. They want to, what I've been told from the other committees, they just want permission to take it down. I have no issue with that. And this would be the first time we're doing that in our committee here, at least to my knowledge, Tom, unless you remember us doing this before. But I guess in the tree ordinance that was passed in the early 90s, it comes to Health and Human Services Committee and or Community Development. Well, Health and Human Services doesn't exist anymore. So it's fallen on our shoulders. I have no issue granting permission to take this tree down. Does anybody have any issues with this?
Will this be done with a certified company, or are they thinking about doing these the maintenance themselves?
No, I would make the suggestion, if we're okay with this, that they have to use a company that's certified and with the license with the city. Definitely license and insurance with the city.
Then I'll move forward with this.
Is there a motion?
I'm sorry, what's the address of this place? I can't, for some reason, I'm not finding that.
It's like 127 something Sacramento or something, or Francisco. Let me
Sacramento.
look. It's on,
12806 California.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Why is this,
And there
why,
was-
why has this been such a thing where it's been kicked around so much?
No one's made final decision on it, and I'm getting frustrated calls from the alderman there. I think we should just do it. It's a tree that I don't want to be too biased towards it, but it's a garbage tree. It's a garbage tree that's dying, that it's going to be a liability because it's got to split down the main trunk. It's going to fall on a car eventually. So let them take it down, is my opinion. It's
I
not
know,
a
they
sugar
wanna take it down. I don't
Yeah.
know why this has been such a big deal. I don't understand why this has been to all these committees. It should just, I move to let them do it.
A second.
All right. Hawley makes a motion,
So,
second by
Alderman
Cantelo.
Bilotto, what is the
Yep.
process when someone wants to remove a tree from the parkway?
I guess it has to go through number of committees, which is what it's happened so far. It's in a tree ordinance from the early 90s is what I got, and it was sent over from Candace Carr and Municipal. And Public Health and Safety sent it to me too. So I got to review that ordinance myself, but I'd like to add to this motion that they use a city certified license company.
Yeah,
And I will reach out to Jim Polster just to inform him what's going on, and then wrap this all up to get this off committee's agendas. Because like I said, I think it's been, well, I've been told it's been in the committees for almost a year. So, all right. Any other questions?
Someone just put a question in the chat.
In the what?
In the chat. Someone put a question in the chat.
Chat room.
Mr. Fernandez.
He asking why would it be at our expense? It is in the parkway.
All right. This
is he the homeowner?
information that was given to me. Yeah, this is the homeowner.
Oh, so now
Because the tree is
paying
not completely
for it.
dead yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
now
I
can
guess
see why it's gone through
what I was told was
18,000
that they
committees.
pay for it. Yeah. Yeah. So I was told that it was being paid for by the homeowner. So now we have to wait and see what happens. I have to find out, because taking down a tree that's not dead does break all our ordinances, as far as I've always been told, of protecting live trees.
Yeah,
I have to get more clarification on this now. So then we have to table this.
And if I may, Jim Postel is against taking this tree down because it is not dead. The black tar disease is it's like a cold. It doesn't kill the tree.
Yeah, it doesn't kill a tree right away, but it can over years. I'm familiar with it. I went to the class in Morton Arboretum years ago. I learned about all that stuff. It doesn't kill a tree though, you're right. But it is a silver maple. It is prone to disease, prone to branches breaking off. And the way this tree is situated, as you guys are familiar with silver maples, it's not a single trunk on this tree. It's two large trunks,
Yeah.
about 15, 20 feet in the air, split down the middle, where it's going to be an issue very soon. So let me get more information and then we'll bring it back to the committee then. So I'll just move to table this right now.
All right.
Yeah. Any opposition to tabling it?
No.
All right. Moving to number 10, the chicken coop stuff. All right. So I reviewed the Tinley Park one, and I'd like to at least get something on the books. I know that there's pros and cons to this, but at the very least, if we do a very brief ordinance eliminating roosters and limiting the amount of chickens, I think we should do something without getting bogged down by red tape, and then we can always amend it later on. I got, for the first time, a complaint just this past week, out of total coincidence, a resident in my ward, about roosters running around her front yard. And it's total coincidence. I never had a complaint before. So this is becoming an issue across town. At the same time, I'm not against chickens, but it seems like most of these towns around us are against roosters, and they have the number of chickens that you can have and the number of feet you can have away from the house. Howard did send several ideas of his that I agree with, other than the registration fee. Tinley Park has a $50 registration fee. I think that's fine. I don't think anybody's going to pay it anyway until it becomes an issue, but I'd like to move something to judiciary very soon, if not from tonight, because it's got to still go through judiciary, and I don't know how long it's going to sit at judiciary. So is there any issues with sending Howard's suggestions that he sent out to judiciary?
No.
There's no issues. I'll make a motion to send Howard's recommendations to judiciary. The only change I wanted to make was the license fee, which I don't know, Howard, did you ever update that? I'd like to keep it with same thing Tinley has, $50.
I guess we could keep it at $50 for now, and if it needs to be updated, it will.
Yeah, and judiciary can change if they want. I just, out of my committee, I'd like to send it out, and hopefully judiciary then moves pretty quickly on doing something with it, because I think we need to have something.
So are you requesting for judiciary to create like an ordinance for us to review afterwards?
I'm fine with sending our recommendations to judiciary so they can create the ordinance as the attorney goes to their meetings. And hopefully keep it nice and quick. So was there already a motion? I didn't write it down. Who made the motion?
You did.
I made the motion. Who seconded?
I'll second.
Is there
Whoever.
a second?
Yeah,
Cazares? All right.
it's fine.
All right, we're sending it to judiciary with Howard's recommendations. And Howard, if you can draft an email with your recommendations to the chairman, and then I will reach out to the chairman also to see if this can get done very quickly. So, all right, moving on.
We have a meeting on Tuesday, by the way.
Okay, so there's still time to get it on the agenda. All right, number 11, Maple Tree. Any updates on Med with Maple Tree and the Esparza's restaurant?
Yes, I already tried all form of information with the lady, with Mrs. Preciado. I sent her the certified letter. I requested her to supply us with actually power of attorney if she's the owner. None of the items that I requested, which were 7, none of them actually she returned. She just kept calling and sending email. And I think that the next step is to bring her to court, because we're going to be opening court next month. And then if she doesn't comply on that part, I will say that we just take it directly to the attorneys and forward with the demolition of the building.
I agree. I would send it right to court as soon as possible. I think we should have done it before, but at this point, let's send it to the court and start the proceedings. Unless the aldermen have any other issues.
There shouldn't be any
Maple
issues.
Tree.
No, we can proceed.
All right. Any update on the Esparza's restaurant? The newspapers on the windows?
Yes, I I talked to, finally, I was able to talk to the daughter of the owner. They said they're going to come in to the building now that we're open. They're going to apply for a permit because they want to do some sort of catering at the restaurant. As of today, I believe she was already taking down those paper that was on the window. I suggested they should put the craft paper on it, which will look different. She said that they will work on it today. I didn't get a chance to pass by in the afternoon, but I'll check that out tomorrow. So, but they will be coming forward sometime next week to start going, and they're going to use the building themselves. They're not going to rent it out to anybody.
Okay, and just an update for the committee. If anybody's interested in history while it's still there, travel down the Old Western tonight or tomorrow, and you're going to see multiple years of history in the street between legitimate cobblestones, which I've never seen on a Blue Island street, and the red brick next to it. And the cobblestones right down the middle where the train tracks used to be, on both sides, red brick, and then another pattern of red brick next to that. And no parking in a mosaic tile in some sections with the brick. It's a very interesting site because they grounded down the old blacktop. And I think you guys should need to check it out if anybody's into any history. The Historical Society went down there, took some pictures, but it looks awesome. It makes me think we should redo a section of that eventually with brick again. But if anybody wants to take a look, go down there. They're probably going to pave over it by tomorrow.
Can't we just tell them to leave it the way it is?
Leave it.
It's pretty chopped up the way it is right now, Tom. If you want to get a chance, go run down there. You can see it at night too, but it's
I will.
If there was a section that's probably the most preserved, it's probably the section that's north of Broadway.
Okay.
All right, building reports. Ahmed, do you got anything?
Regarding the activity of revenue,
do you have any update? Any new business applications? Anything the committee should be aware of?
No, well, actually, there's only one probably that Howard will be receiving. There's some motion. Actually, there's one. The Maple Inn. It's a bar up in the north side, on the Maple Avenue. That one is being sold. A new person came in today to request for a liquor license, and we're going to be doing an inspection to sell this coming Friday. So that will be something that is there's a new one that's coming into our building department.
Okay.
And then we have May we collected 39,000 total. We are year to date we are up to $143,667.98.
All right, thank you. Sarah, marketing report, do you got anything?
Yeah, just quickly, while we've been continuing regular updates to the website and doing a newsletter, most of what we've been focused on has been COVID related. The website had another record May. The total number of visits ended up being above 19,000. So that was a record for the history of the website for the month of May. So that's a good sign. That means that people are finding the website, they're using it for information, and that's what we want them to do. In fact, in June so far, we've had over 12,000 visits, and it's the 10th of the month. From a social perspective, the same kind of traffic and increases. And just in the past week, the last calendar week, we used the website, we used social media a lot to communicate some important messages. And we were actually, I thought you'd be interested in this. We were able to reach over 51,000 people through the Facebook page in the last week when we really needed to get out some important messaging. So those are all good things to continue to see. And I think we had almost 500 new page likes in the last week as well. So that's pretty outstanding. Any questions?
All right.
Good job.
Sounds good. No, it sounds good. And then I have one final piece of business before I open up to Alderman concerns. The property owner of the Blue Island Beer Company building, which isn't the beer company, it's a new owner. And in conversation, when he introduced himself to me, he made a comment that he would be interested in donating the 2 parcels of vacant property to the south of the facility. It's quite large pieces of property if you're familiar with the area. One is an undeeded street. It's Market Street that was deeded to the former property owner years ago. And then the other one's a vacant lot to the south of that. If redeveloped, it can hold, by some estimates, 80 to 100 cars if done right. And we do not have a city parking lot in that area of Western Avenue. And this is something that our committee has discussed years ago when we first talked about doing the business district and parking lots down there. And right now it's just a big gravel lot. I think if they're willing to donate it, and this committee is okay with that, I'm going to put them in contact with the city attorney, and hopefully we can get a very easy quick claim transaction where the city can take ownership of this lot. If we can't develop it soon, at least we can develop it in the future through the business district or TIF funds. That area is covered by multiple different funding opportunities. The CalSag Enterprise Zone, the TIF funds, the business districts, multiple TIFs actually border that property. And I think it would be benefit to the area in general because parking has always been an issue down there. So is there any questions on that?
Which ward is that, Alderman?
Second.
I didn't hear.
That's the second ward, Annette.
Okay.
Second ward, yeah. Yeah, it's right. Yeah, it's right to the west side of the Western Avenue Bridge, coming south off the bridge. You look down into the property. It's the whole piece of land between the beer company and that white house at the entrance to Old Western Avenue. And it's still pin numbers. I looked up the pins, and they're probably, the new owners are probably looking at it like, why should I pay taxes on this? I'll donate it to the city, which is great. We're going to get some real estate that can be definitely developed for our use in the future. If this committee has no issue with it, I'd like someone to make a motion in a second, and I'll recommend, I'll put the attorney in touch with property owner. So a motion by Cazares.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Hello. And I'll put again, this has to all come back to us again, but at the very least, I'm going to get permission to have the property owner talk to our attorney, see if they can work something out, and then it'll come back here anyway. So, but I think it's a good move. The previous property owner didn't want anything to do with that. In my opinion is if someone's giving us a piece of real estate that's worth money that can be developed in the future and the city can have ownership over it, it's a good move to have it. And it's not going to cost us anything taking it. So I think it's a good thing for us. All right, that's all I have on my end of the agenda. Opening up for Alderman concerns.
I have a
Go
couple.
ahead.
Go
All
ahead,
right,
Beck.
All right.
Mech first, all right.
All right, thank you. Howard, was reported to me that we're having a rat issue on Longwood. We're all through the rain gardens. I just wanted to make you aware of that. And then Ahmed and Howard, a question. The old Victor Chekarowski house, has the refund been processed for the charging of the fees for all their permits to the new owners?
Howard, this is the 5 unit that's being converted to a 1 unit that we spoke about. I'm not sure if we got a clear answer. Are they being rebated the permit fees?
Ahmed, are you there?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me. I got some noise in the background. That particular unit, I checked the status is that's a regular single family home. It was never illegal, and so the permit they apply for it's just renovation and remodeling. That was it.
No, that was a 5 unit building. And then it was under the tax code as a multifamily property. I know it because I'm an offer on the property. It's they're paying taxes as a multifamily. They're bringing it back to a single family. There was
I need to receive that information because we don't have anything of that in record. We only have the record of the permit that were pulled out prior to that. I don't have that information at all.
All right. You can look it up very easily by just going to the Cook County Assessor's website and typing in the PIN number or the address. And
Yeah,
I'll
do that tomorrow. Then I'll check. I will seek that information.
And
Which
how
house is this? This is the big house on Union and Greenwood.
And that's, that will be the southeast corner.
Yeah,
Oh,
Tom,
Victor's old house? Oh, Victor's old
yeah,
house.
Victor's house. Yeah,
Victor's old house.
Ahmed is saying it's a single family. They don't qualify for the rebate. We all know it was a multifamily.
Tom, they were charged for permits for a lot of their work. I ran into the owners and they asked me about that. And I mentioned it to Fred and we took it to Howard and Ahmed. And, you know, we all knew it was a multi-unit property at one point. And I thought they shouldn't be charged for permits if they're bringing it back to a single family home.
Right, yeah.
We have an ordinance that says anything that's multifamily, their permits are waived. There doesn't have to be evidence. We all know it's always been a multifamily. And the ordinance didn't ask for evidence, but we all know I know for a fact the Cook County assessor charges $10,000 a year because it's a multifamily house, because I did the research to make an offer on the property. So if that's all you need to do is look that up. But in the past, there's multifamily homes in town that are still taxed at single family rates. But when we created this ordinance, we knew that. We want them brought back to single family. We didn't say you have to prove you are a multifamily. We want single homes from multifamily units. We want to be very lenient with this policy to lower the amount of housing units in one building. Am I being clear with the committee?
You are.
Absolutely.
So to gathering the evidence part of Met, you could look it up, but the word I'm looking for, the passion of the ordinance that was written was to fix the problems of homes not being legal multifamilies. So,
This is
and
the
house
property.
didn't-
This is the property where all the trees were cut down, right? And historic
Yeah,
preservation was over.
It's the old Italianate home on the
They had,
corner.
I know, yes. There's 4 or 5 gas meters that were outside. There's multiple electric meters. You could just go outside the property unless they've already removed that stuff and see that it was a multifamily. But you could check the Cook County Assessor's website, which is a public information, and they were being taxed on multifamily about $10,000 a year.
Okay.
So there should be no
follow.
issue. There should be.
I'll follow up on that, and then we'll do the process already, and you know, get the permit. I mean, the fees being returned.
Fred, am I right? They're about $3,000 to $5,000 that they paid in fees?
No, it's about under $3,000.
Yes.
Okay.
But all permit fees are rebated. It doesn't mean that you don't get to inspect. It doesn't mean that they can't pull permits. That all still exists. They just don't pay for them.
Right. No, we understand. Yeah, no, the moment I received that information, I went on and looked on the ordinance. Yes, I found that. And I was actually in touch with my other inspector that we were going on that. But no, you're right. We still do the regular process. The only thing is the fee that doesn't get paid. And but we do the inspection. We do everything normal.
Okay, I appreciate that. And then Eric?
I don't know if he's still on.
It says it's still on here.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, Eric, thank you. Any update regarding the flooding and anything you can share? Have we heard anything back from the water folks?
That was my question also. Was it a FEMA or something?
Can we, so I have heard back from the MWRD regarding the flood control projects in the Northeast neighborhood. They had asked me how our meeting had gone. I think that was last week, right, Alderman Mech? How our meeting had gone last week.
Yes, the meeting that the mayor called and he never showed up. Yep.
And so I have talked to them since then. I don't have any concrete information from them. We've just been in touch since then. I let them know that the city's on board with the wants to be on board with the study and the project. And I also let them know that the city council members indicated that they wanted to have a presentation by the MWRD to the city council. So I guess to answer your question, yes, we have been in contact with them. I don't have the actual report yet, though.
Okay, just so you're aware, I was contacted by Block 37. They're having a special meeting tomorrow night. They're looking at possible legal action or anything else they can do towards the city for lack of involvement in answering their concerns and flooding. Just I'll keep you posted, but the last 4 or 5 days, I've gotten 40 phone calls, emails, texts regarding this meeting. And I mean, the photographs and documentation and emails that they've sent to the mayor's office that have not been answered.
Okay, Alderman, sure. You know, we're always here in case of any concerns, and we understand that you know that is an area that suffers from flooding, and you know, as the city engineers, we want to have this problem addressed and fixed too. So we're always here for you, and you know, we're going to continue to push with the MWRD, and anytime we find any available funds, yeah, this is top on our list.
So
You know, they-
I think we have water in the 6th ward. I have families at school that live in the 6th ward in the Fairview apartments. They lost everything. So the teachers all had to do a donation drive for them. I've had several other people contact me too in the 6th ward. And I believe last time it rained a couple years ago, was it a FEMA or somebody gave out grants? Is that how that worked?
Alderman Zylman, I'm not aware of FEMA giving out grants in Blue Island. But I mean, that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I'm not aware of anything like that.
Because I mean, we have the 6th ward lost. I mean, we have one family for sure that contacted me, lost everything in the basement apartment on the Fairview apartments. So I just don't know what to tell these people. They keep calling me.
And I mean, I'm getting calls continually, and rightfully so. We've all seen the photographs, but it's unbelievable what they've lost.
Right, I understand that, Alderman.
So-
And I guess one thing if you would like me, Alderman Zylman, to look into, we have quite a few people at Robinson who are absolute flooding gurus. They're certified floodplain managers, all that. I can ask them if there's any FEMA programs that do offer relief. Definitely, for sure, and let you know.
That'd be great. And here's my next question is, where can we have these people, have these complaints? Where can I send them? Where can I tell them to email or send pictures, or what can I tell them to do? Just hold on and wait, and or what?
So as far as documentation, so like pictures of high water levels, pictures of any flooding, so we as the city engineers, and I mean, I would definitely direct them, Alderman Zylman, to city staff. So, to Mark Miller or Jim Polsterl, not
Okay.
directly, not directly to us, but that's fine too. But really what I'm trying to say is like all that documentation. So those like photos of high water, photos of water in the streets and basements and backyards, that's actually quite valuable. And every time we apply for, flood control projects, we can use all of those, because it's evidence. It's evidence of the problem. So they're quite
so-
useful to us. They can go directly to me. I think the city prefers that, however, that goes through, the city staff. So
So I'll tell them, I'll just
would
give
say
Mark
Jim-
Miller's phone, Mark Miller's email to start with. How's that?
can you say that again, Alderman Zylman?
I'll give them Mark Miller's email to start with Mark Miller first.
Yeah, I think-
Would that be correct?
That'd be a great way to start. Yep.
All right, perfect.
There's a couple issues here. One, Eric, thank you for saying that you have flood experts now after all this time. I mean, honestly, I've been an alderman a year and a half, and I've inherited this issue, and this is the first time I've heard this. So, great. Secondly, we have a problem with the city emails of getting pictures to folks, because if the picture's too large, they can only take one photograph. Everything else gets bounced back. It's a mess. So there has to be another way of doing this. I mean, this is an ongoing problem. There's no answer. These people have lost so much, and it's just ongoing. And here we're saying, oh, we have flooding experts now. And I'm sorry, this isn't, our residents are suffering. And I see it. I mean, I saw water almost hip high in basements. I was getting calls 11, 12, 1 in the morning because their basements were flooding. They didn't know what to do. And I mean, yes, I know it was an unusual rainfall. And I do know many of these properties are below the hill, but there has to be an answer. And this has been going on for 20 years or more. And I'll tell you, they are, I mean, I got a call yesterday where they told me to prepare for the worst for myself in this meeting tomorrow. And you know what? I'll take it. I have big shoulders, but you know what? I need help from the mayor. And, you know, the mayor called a special meeting last week. And Marisol made a big deal about this meeting, and both of them were not on the call. You were on the call, Johnny was on the call, and Jim was on the call. But, you know, they dumped it on us after they called a special meeting. And I'm sorry, we need help.
I agree. I mean, like I told you, I have a student that lost everything. That's crazy. All right, so I'm gonna have them email Mark Miller to start with, or maybe drop off a letter. Maybe if that's better, if they can send the pictures.
The emails, I mean, the city emails, it's ridiculous.
All right, I'm gonna have them mail or drop off a letter for Mark Miller. Perfect. That'll be my thing to them.
All right. Any other Alderman concerns?
Oh yeah, I've got more. Don't go nowhere.
What do you got? What do you got?
Second one. What's the deal with the farmer's market? My farmer wants to come sell their fruits and vegetables, maybe like first week in July. Are we allowed that? And what do I do? Because it was on the Metro South Pavilion property. Anybody there?
I don't know if I'll add it to my questions I'm going to send to McNulty from Lockwood about using the property.
Okay. I mean, I have
if you can
insurance.
have it or not.
Well, my school will have insurance, but I won't have. I won't do all the vendors. I would just do the farmer.
Howard, can we have the farmer's market with the new phase we're in? I think we can, right?
I'm not sure. I sent materials earlier, like a month and a half ago, to Alderman Zylman about farmers market with the COVID. I would have to dig it up and see what it says. It came from the health department from Cook County.
But I'm not going to do the whole big market. I'm just going to have the farmer there. I'm not going to do like the food and all that stuff. Just the farmer for this year. I mean, we had the jumpy house, for the little kids. We had snow cones and tamales, and no, I just want to just do the farmer. Yes.
Are you doing food to sell like tomatoes and corn, or just plants?
I believe she'll have fruits and vegetables by July. And she's doing other farmers markets in the area. She wants to come back to Blue Island, but I said I have to get approval.
So the materials that I sent you was from Illinois Extension COVID Fact for Farmers Market. Yeah, they're just, social distancing, for example, best practices, no more sampling. Vendors should practice hand hygiene, use gloves when handling money, handle packages, limit market volume, pre-ordering, pickups, and location. Let's see. Doesn't say anything that's prohibited at this point.
I mean, she's aware of all the guidelines because she's doing other markets. And then there's some places she's not going back to. So I told her I would just check and see what the deal was.
Yeah, I have to do some more research before I can give you an answer.
If you can let me know as soon as possible, it'd be great. All right, my next question is, are we?
She got.
I have another question. Next question: Are we allowing garage sales?
Ahmed? Ahmed?
You're on mute.
Yes.
Have we gave out permits for garage sales so far? Yeah, this
So
year.
nobody have asked. The only one they asked was Randy.
All right. Well, we have sales on the weekends.
Okay,
So I'm just letting you know, I don't know who you let know, or if they are doing them, maybe they're doing them on the weekends because they know there's nobody around, but there are garage sales.
okay. Nobody have come in, only, yeah, well,
Are we allowed to have garage sales? Are we allowed to have garage sales right now if they pull the permit?
I believe so. You know, I mean, I haven't checked what are the regular year. I mean, I don't know what month are allowed to it. I have to check with the if we have an ordinance on that.
And if they have a garage sale without a permit, what happens?
Well, we have to do a citation, and then you know, basically, it will be fines involved.
All right. What else you got, Raeann?
I think that's about it for right now.
All right. Any other aldermen?
Yes, Alderman Bilotto. I just wanted to
Yes.
know, you were working on the census team, right? The committee.
Yeah.
What's
Yep.
the status for Blue Island?
They just got some tablets they're configuring at the clerk's office. Now the people are coming in with city stickers. They're going to be encouraged to use the tablets that are funded by the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association to fill out the census. I believe there's another mailer being put together to rental properties, which is the biggest block of non-respondents by our committee. And I believe it's going to be paid also from a grant from the South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association. I know the census itself, from my tenant next door who still hasn't done it, has gotten at least 3 postcards in the mail with the initial envelope. And I told him I'm not renewing his lease until he fills it out. So they've been getting notified. The problem we have in our town is that we're so heavily rental, it's not taken as seriously. And I know Dave Johnson from the committee has applied for these grants. So we haven't really paid anything out of pocket for our census support. And I don't know if Randy wants to give an update on those tablets. I don't know if we got them in yet or not, but we're going to be working that angle pretty soon, right?
Yes, I got 2 of them in, and Dave Johnson's going to stop by in the next day or so to configure them so they go right to the census page.
Okay, do we have any teams on the street canvassing the neighborhoods to get people to do the surveys?
No, the Census Bureau is supposed to start working on that in August. They gave us some dates. They're going to start sending people out. Once they do that, they're supposed to notify us so we can support them. We can't go out on our own to do it, but we can definitely support them in different ways, saying, hey, if a census person stops at your house, they're only asking these questions, that kind of stuff. But they have to, the people actually getting the information work for the Census Bureau. But we're going to get notified as soon as they send those people out.
Okay, because I looked up our response rate for Blue Island. We're only 54%. So that's not good.
Yep. No.
Alderman Alexander, you know what we were in 2010? 17%, I believe, was the number. Is that correct, Fred? Something like that?
Oh, wow.
It was terrible. Now this is now just comparatively for other demographic towns like us, like Berwyn, Cicero, they're at last poll they're well below us. So we're doing pretty good compared to other demographic similar towns. However, it's not great. So we definitely want to get up to 90%. Dave Johnson figured 10% vacancy rate or non-response rate. We want to hit that 90%. We got a long way to go. So definitely we're hitting the social media as hard as we can. We're working on our individual Blue Island postcard. The Census Bureau is going to be sending those people out in a month or so. We just got to do best we can. Just tell people, make sure you fill out the census.
The clerk, since people are coming in getting their city stickers, is someone going to be there to ask people to complete surveys?
Absolutely. And hopefully Dave will be able to get in there next day or so. We're the first week is typically the compliant kind of people who are going to get their stickers right away, but I anticipate that we'll be hitting a lot of people getting to do the census as they come through in the middle of the month.
Okay. That's it.
Ahmed, Howard, would you keep me posted regarding the refund process on those permit fees of that home?
Sure.
And Alderman Mech, I just looked it up on the water bills. Victor was paying for it was actually a 2-flat at the time, but still it was registered as a multi-unit building with the city of Blue Island as far as the water bill and the garbage.
Okay.
All right. Ahmed, did you hear the clerk about
Yes,
that?
I
I didn't hear a response.
I
Okay,
did.
all right.
Yeah,
That
well,
problem should be resolved now, right? Yeah, okay.
I'll start the process tomorrow, and keep you posted. I'll email you guys what you know what's going to be the afterward, but I'll start that tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All concerns? And Alexander, do you have anything else to the census?
No, that is it. Thanks.
Okay, any other Alderman concerns? I have to add one last thing I'm gonna follow up with, back to that tree situation. Let's finish a motion to approve the cutting down of the tree. And that way, if that's what it comes to, we don't have to have a special meeting or anything like that.
That he pays for it, right?
If it's at our expense, then I have to bring it back. Yeah, so I make a motion to do that. Is there a second?
I second.
Actually, I'll just use,
Making-
if it's okay, I have Hawley and Cantelo on the motions here. If you guys are okay, I'll leave it stand. And then for not at our expense, and see what I can find out, talking to Jim and talking to the property owner. That way, if there's a peaceful resolution that can be made, we don't have to have a special meeting over this. So does everybody sound okay with that?
Agreed.
Okay. All right, if there's any other issues, if not, we need a motion to
Motion adjourned.
Second.
by Mech. All in favor?
Uh,
Say aye. Any opposed? All right, we're adjourned. Unless
Fred,
there's
you
an
go-
emergency.
Fred, you
a
go
month
over there
from
to
now.
the, you
So,
go over to the street? You didn't hear me.
I was
Hey.
there earlier.
Oh,
I
I
was
think I'm gonna
there
go down,
earlier.
I'm gonna go down there now and look